Hello there guys, it's TheFlyingBird here, and I decided today, after numerous comments from Wizard, to redo my power rankings for Kanto. The reason I'm doing this, guys, is to set the record straight and try my best to redo this. It's probably the first one was abysmal, and I really do apologise. In particular, I apologise to Mayo for the way I criticised him and things like that beforehand. Yeah, and in particular, this isn't meant to be me trying to pay people out or anything like that. It's meant to be me trying to give people my honest opinion on where they sit in the draft and why. And I apologise if people didn't think I did a very good job. So I'm going to redo this, and this is probably the only time you're going to see me redo any video. I've never redone a video before, no matter how much the hate or criticism, but I feel like I owe it to the NBA to do a proper job, and I failed to do so. So that's the introduction to this video, but from now on I can assure you that I'll be doing Kanto power rankings by myself, and they'll be to a high enough quality where I hope you guys can't just flat out come out and say this is wrong, this is what you should do wrong. And I do apologise to anyone who thinks that my first job isn't good enough. I agree with you. At my numbers 12 spot I still have Rob. Rob has an excellent Mega and Mega Metagross, but in my opinion the way he complements his team doesn't make much sense to me. Having shared type weaknesses like Azumarill, Celebi, and then also having the fact that, yes, I know people are going to say, but Mega Metagross and Azumarill are great fairy checks, so it helps out Crocodile. Yeah, it does to an extent. Yes, he does have a great range of typings, and completely agree with you there. But when you only have Celebi, Crook, Gliscor as rock options, it's pretty good options. You do have the Toxic Absorber and Tentacruel. I do feel though you are a bit weak to Toxic Spikes, because if you are against someone who has Toxic Spikes, you are forced to send in your Tentacruel, and unfortunately Tentacruel is not the best Toxic Spike Absorber. Yes, I understand Victory Bell is another one, but I believe that you solely drafted that for the purpose of trying to counter 812. Apart from that, it's a fairly all-round draft, and it is probably a bit harsh to put you at the bottom, but in my opinion, I thought that you were the bottom of 12 other very highly rated drafts, in my opinion, in terms of not play styles, not how the player responds, but in fact the way you play. I know that preferably, if we are going to talk about coaches for a while, you do like your balanced offense and you like your hyper offensive style. I can see this complementing it, but previously in the past I've seen you get worn down, but in particular by people who run sub mons. For example, sub Conkeldor. Yes, I understand Lipard is can stop and bait things like that, and it is a pretty good momentum mon. Unfortunately, I don't know how well you're going to run it. In my opinion, I've used Lipard before, besides setting up the sun and things like that. I've never really used it to its full ability. Yes, it is a good pivot, but at the same time, I'm a bit worried to see how something like Lipard is going to complete your draft. But knowing you, Robert, you're going to prove me wrong week 1. Also having about you have 4 fairy weak Pokemon, but then again at the same time you do have Mega Metagross, Azumarill, Tentacruel, Emboar, and Victreebel. So we're going to see how on the balance of probabilities that goes. Next up, I'm sticking up with Mayo. Yes, Mayo has some great individual mons, but for me it doesn't work. Here is why. Mega Medicham and Victini are 2 immensely great picks, but when I rate anyone's draft, I do it on the basis of, is the Mega the star pick or is the team built around a Mega? Now, for me, Mayo star mon here is Mega Medicham, which is an excellent mon, but it lacks a bit of speed. Yes, it's base 100, it is fast, but in comparison to League format, it is quite slow. Well, the reason I say that is because something like Victini can chuck Honest Choice Scarf and make it faster, which is great, but at the same time they both share a common ghost weakness. Zoroark can be nice to throw off your opponents. Really the NU picks I found quite weak. Volplume I agree with, I think it's a great mon. Omastar is great as a Shell Smash and a Spike option, which I can't handle on that behalf with you. But when you have such a good Spike option as something like Omastar, you only have the option of Defog. And that was something why it was raised originally so lowly, was because of the fact that you only had the option to Defog. You did not have the option to Rapid Spin. And when you have hazard setters, it's sort of a bit of an issue. Yes, Zoroark is quite a nice pick. I'm interested to see how you use it, but I know you well enough, Mayo, that you're the type of guy that will prove me wrong. If I rate you at 11 this week, you'll probably be number 5 next week because you'll win. And you'll probably keep winning until you win that championship, and you can be able to say it proudly at the end of the season, he was wrong. Yes, the T-Wave joke was an inside joke, but in all seriousness, he does have a great bulky psychic in terms of Uxie. It's a very bulky draft. I feel like it is lacking a few hard hitters. Jolteon is a great mon. Yes, it did get 22 kills in Kalos last season, but that is Kalos. I'm not trying to diminish the playing ability in Kalos, but that was on a different team, and just because it's on one team doesn't mean necessarily it's going to be good on another team. At my number 10, I'm still going to stick with Cody. A lot of people are giving me hate because I rate Mega Beedrill. Here is why I rate Mega Beedrill. In League, there's something you have to understand. Yes, you can bring the 4 same moves every week, but if it hits like a truck, you still got to be able to take those moves like a truck. It's such a unique type being Bug Poison. Here's why. Bulky grounds and steel types are probably the 2 things that give it issue. I want you to remember that. Bulky grounds and bulky steel types. Bulky steels, Volcanion. It does a very good job. Bulky grounds, Ferrothorn. Lucha. You know, it's got a great little offensive presence. Yes, there is a bit of a weakness in the team being fire, and I did allude to that. Yes, the weakness in the fire is only a Moltres switch-in, but in the same time, he has to rely on defog. He has 2 mons to take 50%, but at the same time he has a 6% Stealth Rock defog switch-in, being his Flygon, which is quite a good little pick. Because what it means is although he only has 2 of those Stealth Rocks, which you still have to set up rocks. And 9 times out of 10, someone else is going to be bringing a defogger because he has the option to hazard stack his opponent. Or they're going to bring Rapid Spin. And if they bring Rapid Spin, unfortunately he does not have a Ghost type. But at the same time, he has some mons that can hit really hard. He also has a Rapid Spin and Hitmonchan, which is something I probably didn't focus on. Hitmonchan is also another great pick. I will be interested to see how he uses Hitmonchan because of the fact that it is a great mon. And it is a mon that can do a lot of momentum and things like that. And it's, in my opinion, a stronger draft because the Mega does a lot more on the team, provides a lot of momentum, and also provides a lot of momentum and a very hard hitting option. When you pair it with something like a Volcanion, it then forces people to bring like mixed walls. Moltres is another amazing mon. Someone in this league has already shown how amazing Moltres can be, being Wyatt. You know, who knows? Cody might do the exact same thing. Because just because they have a glaring weakness doesn't sometimes is better. Because when you have a glaring weakness, you know you can patch it up. I know personally when you look at VGC teams and things like that in doubles, because I'm more of a come from a doubles background, is when you have glaring weaknesses in your face, it's a lot easier to play. That's why for a while a lot of people were running mono type teams, was because there's a glaring weakness right in my face, but this is how I counter it 9 times out of 10. At number 9, I have A12. A12's draft is a very risky strategy. Why? Because although it has some of his staple mons, at the same time I feel as though it's a bit lacking. Now the reason why it is rated higher than people like Mayo, people like Mayo and Rob and Cody, is just because I see he can control a lot more conditions. Charizard Y is a great pick. It's a great Mega. It can run. It's one of the more versatile Megas in League format. It can run physical or special. It's a great pick. Complement that with something like Diggersby. He can then run the 2-man core. The only weakness they have common is water, but when you have the Sun Up, that's not really an issue. And then when you pair something like Dugtrio, which is, you know, can trap rockers and rock type mons, you know, it just seems to start building that self core really nicely. Clefable's another good pick because Clefable plus Metagross is an interesting, you know, a good fairy steel. Cool. Now, you may be saying, oh, but Rob has a Zoomeril and Mega Metagross. Yes, it's a lot more of an offensive core, but in my opinion, A12's core is a bit more defensive, and it can allow him to play more defensive. Dugtrio is a good pick. Minetry is another interesting pick from A12, but it is very good to gain momentum. Rapidash, he said he's going to hit like a truck. And Executor, he said it's Pheromone, and I'm really keen to see what he wants to do with this, because it has a great makings of a great draft, and you never know, if a couple of free agent picks can completely turn people's drafts on their heads and make it completely different. I don't like how he's only gone half in, but knowing A12 and rating him solely on his draft, you know, when you have Pariyama as a great fighting type, Dugtrio, Spiritomb, And also, considering that in the draft, he unfortunately missed out on Mandibuzz, which he said was an integral part of the team, and also Mungus. I think he relied a bit too heavily on that, but apart from that, I think it's a great little draft. At my number 8 pick, I have Dylan. Dylan is known for a hazard stack, and this season he's tried something different, and I commend Dylan on that, because I'm interested to see how he plays. There's some great OU picks. Now, there is a bit of a problem. He has Excadrill, no sand. But, in saying that, when you have Excadrill, which is weak to 4 times weak to fighting and water, and your first pick is a Keldeo, it's a great little combination. And then when your Latios is your second pick, and it is weak to Fairy, and Ghost, and Dark, and you pick up something like Whimsicott, and Milk Sneasel, and Milk Tank, they're great little picks that just seem to complement that draft a little bit more, and focus really on that team synergy. Electros is a great pick because of the fact it has no weaknesses, apart from Mold Breaker EQs. And that's something that's really important in League, is I know people have been emphasizing, and I know it's a great point to make, in League, every immunity you have is a godsend because it means someone can't bring something against you. They bring choice specs against you, and you lock yourself in, there's a problem. If you're choice specs and you go for the right move, you get the big power off. But it's a risk-win reward type situation. My number 7, I have Hound. Hound did an amazing job and drafted Among Us OU3, sniping both A12 and Techno. I can see why he would want to snipe it. It's a great pick. Crobat, Renewicus, Haxorus. Probably one of the better UU picks for me. Crobat is a great little defogger. Renewicus is a great Trick Room setter and special attacker. Haxorus is one of the best mons in League, in my opinion, as a mono-attacking dragon. And in my opinion, it's probably the best dragon in the League, apart from Megas. And when I say that, it's probably based upon value. Yes, it doesn't get defogged, but at the same time, it's something with a base 147 attack stat, I believe. It absolutely decimates people. And it is crazy hard to predict. And when you have something like Bishop as well. So you've got something that's weak to fighting. Bishop and Renewicus is a great core together. Yes, you do have that fairy weakness, but then Among Us covers it. And it has the makings of a semi-trick room team, which I'm really interested to see how it goes. To be honest, I think that you're in that mid-tier range where you're going to really be able to trick people in each week to what you're going to bring. And that's very important in League play. So I believe I'm up to my number 6. My number 6 was Hail. Jirachi is one of the best mons in League format because of the fact it's so versatile. Same as Dragonite. You can run 2 different sets. They can be physical or special depending upon what you want to see. Shaymin is another great pick. Pair that with something like Regirock, where you become Bug and Ice weaknesses are then transferred on Regirock. There's non-existent. And when you have Regirock, which is weak to water and grass, and you have something like Shaymin, it's a great pick. Shaymin is a base 100 in all base stats, which is something that's very overlooked, and particularly being in the RU tier is something that I think is a lot of people overlooked, and it's a great little pick to have RU1. I really enjoy his Mega Blastoise pick. I think it's one of the best sort of mons in League format, in particular now MBA, because of the fact it's a UU pick, and when you can pick something UU3 as a Mega, and still get something things like Porygon 2 and Umbreon, which are 2 very good Pokemon. In addition, when you get Umbreon plus Jirachi, you know, there's no weakness besides ground share between them, but then you have something like Dragonite, and it's a bit like, okay, that's your core, it's a Dark Steel Dragon core, it's very hard to beat. And you know, Drapion's a great Toxic Spike option. You don't have a way to get rid of hazard removal except for Mega Blastoise, which is very reliable in that sense of getting rid of hazards, which I think is important. And I really want to stress that is important, is that you have a way to get rid of hazards, and in particular it's not about just having hazard removals, it's about having reliable hazard removal, because otherwise what happens is you are then sort of forced into those mind games. At my number 5 spot, I did have Hydro. Hydro has a very bulky team, and I think it's a playstyle that will suit him in playing the defensive style to then re-attack his opponent, to give double back the damage to his opponents and do it quite well. Togekiss is definitely an interesting pick as an OU1. Definitely when you look at his team, I feel like his OU picks are pretty weak, but in light of that, he has some very strong picks. The Mega Latias. the Mamoswine, the Hydreigon, Registeel, Rotomoa, Toxicroak, Delphox, Zebstrika, Jinx, Ludicolo. Ludicolo is a really nice pick because if you run something like a Rain Dance with Jinx, it's going to tear people apart, and that is a really interesting combo at the bottom. Delphox and Toxicroak is another really nice pairing, you know. Toxicroak is weak to Psychic, whereas Delphox is weak to Dark, and that's another really nice pairing. And they seem to come and go, like Hydreigon, Registeel, weak to Fairy, weak to Fighting. It's a shared weakness, but you know, Registeel's weak to ground. You have Hydreigon. If it is not Levitate, it's a great option. Megalanias is a really nice option, plus Togekiss, two very reliable hazard removers, and I think that's very important in League format, as I've stressed multiple times. At number 4, sorry guys, I'm actually sometimes have to recheck my posters because I know where I put them and I know why, I just can't think of it. At number 4, I put Techno, because of the fact Techno has a very strong team. He has taken some really nice picks that are really proven in League format. Manaphy plus Sticky Web is a great combo, considering when you also put an Infernape, it really limits your Scarfers, and Infernape is a great mon. On top of that, he has some really nice synergy. Manaphy, Zapdos. Grass, Rock are their two weaknesses. Ice is the third, but they both cover each other quite well. Oh, and Electric is neutral. Sorry guys, but as I don't want Techno to be able to scold me in the comments again in our MBA chat because I make some mistakes, and I do apologize again, Techno, for any mistakes made. I really enjoy the Hitmon League pick. It is a great pick. When you have Hitmonlee, it forces a lot of opponents to try to predict what your item going to bring and predict it to be unburdened. And at the same time, if it is Reckless, it's another wrecking machine, which is important in League. Slowking and Hooper, two very good Trick Room options. Slowking can be used to get a lot of momentum. In addition, Infernape, Zapdos, U-Turn, Volt Switch, another two momentum setters. And there isn't really much else to put in. It's got a very nice defensive backbone in Tangrowth and Steelix. And also when you have something like Tangrowth and Manaphy as a bit of a core, it's quite strong. Pawniard, I'm really interested to see how it goes. I know it is one of the mons that, you know, it's probably looked over a bit. It is quite strong in itself, so I'm really interested to see how it goes as a knockoff primary user. It is quite fitting in your team. I feel like it really suits the team synergy. So that's what I'm really interested to see. Number 3 is Wyatt. Wyatt has an extremely strong team in Tornadus T, Weavile, Mew, Arcanine, Vaporeon, Mega Ampharos, Diancie, Virizion, Golbat, Tauros, Metang, and Piloswine. His OU picks are so strong. Tornadus T, Weavile, and Mew. I just see those 3 picks in particular doing a lot of work. Fighting weakness by Weavile is covered by Mew and Tornadus. Ice weakness by Tornadus is covered by Weavile. And then you have your Dark weakness covered by Weavile. Very nice pick. Then you have it, you know, pretty much throughout the whole tiers, which I really, and you have so many diverse diverse types, which it actually amazes me because it means such a good pick. You have 2 very good NU mons, Metang and Piloswine, 2 very bulky Evilite users, and also you have 2 rockers there. You then have your Defogger and Mew, and in which Bobby makes a very good point in saying Mew is one of the most unpredictable mons in League format, and that's something definitely to take a look at. Next up, you know, you also have Arcanine and Vaporeon, and Mega Ampharos plus Vaporeon, a great Heal Bell user with Arrest Talk. With Arrest, Pokemon is great. Diancie's Trick Room, and I think Diancie is one of the best mons in League, is an IU pick because of the fact that it has such a good dual typing, being Fairy Rock, and at the same time being able to be physical and special. I do talk about a lot. Does the Mega complement the team, or is the Mega the star pick? This Mega complements the team so well. Why is it that? Well, when you have a U-turn and Volt turn call, which a lot of people emphasize, and most time momentum players, I personally don't use momentum, but when I do, I somehow win a lot more. But when you look at the momentum, Tornadus T plus Mega Ampharos, and Mega Ampharos 9 times out of 10 can run a very strong special move and hit something hard. You know, it's just a very unpredictable draft, and I think that's very important for him. At my number 2 spot, I had Dom, the coach of the Golden State Wartotles. Mega Venusaur, Garchomp, Thundy T, Relegated, Conkeldurr, Snorlax, Magnetonix, Blound, Gramble, Skuntank, Rhydon, Mesprit. Very first thing, does the Mega complement the team? Yes, it does. The Mega's a star pick, complemented quite nicely. For Alligator, you could have waited, but for Alligator is a very nice pick. I agree with you there, Captain. We drink to that. Magneton's great because it means bulky steel types are covered by Mega Venusaur. And then you have things like Exploud, another great pick, Gramble, another great pick, you know, Heal Bell User, Intimidator, Skuntank as your defogger. My boy knows what he's doing. Rhydon, Garchomp. Yes, there's a couple of double link ups. Conkeldurr is another great one. And what I meant to say in the original video was, his team is a little bit weak to hazards. Little. The reason why I say that is because unless it spikes damage, which is a guaranteed 25%, not one of his mons takes more than 12% from rocks besides Thundy T. Double checking my facts there, that is 100% correct. That is something that makes an opponent go, oh rubbish, it's 6% to wear them down. It is crazy because it's so hard to wear them down. That's what I want to stress. Hazards are great to wear down an opposition. But when you have something like Mega Venusaur that comes in and goes, health back. Or you have something like Magneton, give me those steel types. And 9 times out of 10 you'll find most rockers are steel types. Or ground types, or rock types. There's very few niche ones outside of that. And you have something like Magneton's great. Feraligator's another great pick. I'm interested to see how Feraligator goes, considering it was a UU1 pick. Hopefully we'll see some Dragon Dance sweeps, and it'll be really interesting to see. Number 1, I'm going to stick by what I said. No matter what people say in the comments, I'm going to stick by my picks and finish it off strong with DD. Now, in contrast to last time, I'm actually going to explain to you, mon by mon, why he is number 1. And there's going to be a few grunts and a few yeah nah. And at the same time, there's going to be this is what it does well. I'm actually going to pull up a Microsoft Word and type things what I believe the best team in a draft format should have. Alright? So we're going to get up my Word document here, and we're going to sort of tick them off. But you won't see this in the video, because this will still have the nice graphics. Question 1. Does the Mega support the team or complement it? 2. Does it have good, solid hazard removal? 3. Does it have good, solid hazard setters? 4. Does it have any niches which can work? 5. Is there any glaring weaknesses? 6. How does it combat that weakness? So, 6 things. Let's reiterate the point one more time. 1. Does the Mega support the team or complement it? 2. Does it have good solid hazard removal? 3. Does it have good solid hazard setters? 4. Does it have a niche which can work? 5. Is there any glaring weaknesses? 6. How does it combat that glaring weakness? 1. Mega Lopunny is his star mon. Mega Lopunny supports his team so well. It's a great speedy mon. I don't like the pairing up with Stoutland, but that's besides the point. Because when the question is, does it support or complement the team? The answer is yes. Mega Lopunny is one of the greatest mons in League format. I personally think that when you have a normal fighting spam which is scrappy, it will beat anything. You can run Facade for Mega Sableye. It is a great mon. You can run Adamant 9 times out of 10. They need a Scarfer to still outspeed you. You can speed creep the living shit out of them. And when you can do so effectively each week, it makes it an incredibly hard thing to prep for. Because DD can run Dust Return, Fake Out, Quick Attack, High Jump Kick, Fake Out, Return, Bullet Punch, not Bullet Punch, Power Up Punch, Quick Attack. He can run so many similar sets. Just focus on their normal and fighting spam without even having to worry about any other types. Does it have good solid hazard removals? Well, let's look at the team, right? He has Hitmontop, which is his only one. But in saying that, when you look at what takes rocks damage on his team, he has one mon, being Entei, which is 24%. 9 times out of 10, Entei will not need to take 4 or more rocks turns. Why? Because Entei is such a powerful mon that when it comes in, it punishes people so well. And it punishes them so well that when you band it and you can scare people just by making it shiny and running something funny like flamethrower and making them go, huh, maybe that isn't there. It is such a good Pokemon. So, 3. Does it have good, solid hazard setters? Yes. 4. Let me just count how many stealth rockers. 1, 2, 3. 3 very solid stealth rock setters. 1 Tyranitar. 2 Hitmon. 2 Swampert. 3 Steelix. It is a great pair of hazard setters. In complementary to that, you have Roserade, which has spikes and toxic spikes, which make that mon even more powerful. 4. Does it have any niches which can work? Yes, it has the sand. Stoutland in sand is an incredible tank. Stoutland, Sand Rush, bang, superpowered choice band. You know what? It takes lives. And when you pair something with Mega Lopunny, and when normal spam is something that is only resisted by Ghost, and Mega Lopunny can hit Ghost super effectively, and you have T-Tar to pursue trap them, it is such a nice pairing. 5. Is there any glaring weaknesses? Yes, there is. There's a bit of one. It's got about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mons weak to ground. How does he combat that? He has Trevenant, Hitmontop, Swampert, Cresselia, and there's his 4. And they're very good mons because they're quite bulky. It has a nice complement of offense and defense. I want to make this clear so there cannot be any arguments in the comments. He has a great complement. Amazing. How does it combat that weakness? I just reiterated that point. Some great defensive mons. And for me, it has a nice speed tier structure. When you have Mega Lopunny and Raikou, which is super quick, then you have a great priority user in Entei and Hitmontop, Mach Punch, Extreme Speed from each respectively. You have a nice Cleric and Aromatisse. You have a Trick Room option in Aromatisse and Trevenant. You have a Volt Switch, meaning Raikou. You have a Baton Pass user in Mega Lopunny. You have, there's so many things that makes this team just the best draft in the NBA. And you can go through each team and try to tell me that Rob or Mayo or someone you believe is rated unfairly. But I hope by providing these 6 criteria, you can see my point of view and see why DD has the best draft and why, in my opinion, someone like Rob doesn't. But at the end of the day, it is my opinion, and I've decided to remake this video to make it fair to everybody who's in the NBA and to all our fans. This is why I drafted people where they were. And when there isn't a constant whir in my ear, and I have to spend about 8 hours on that video, and yes, I did pay Mayo out unfairly, this is what I can do, and this is what's going to happen every week for you guys. So until next time, I've been the Flying Bird for your draft recap, and I want you guys to hit like, hit subscribe, hit whatever you want, but I hope that this is a much better video than the yeah nah, the constant in my background, because that really annoyed me because I couldn't understand. And you guys could be like, oh, you can just take your headphones out. Yes, I could, but then I wouldn't know when Bobby's speaking. And I just want to make you guys unaware of what's going on, and this is how the Flying Bird operates when he does these jobs, and he does them properly. Stay tuned for Kalos and D-League rankings posted on the next coming days, and they will be to the same level of quality as this one. And this video will set the basis of what our quality on the NBA channel is going to be like. So you guys better hit that like and subscribe button, and you guys better stick around, because we are coming to make sure that you guys have some great quality content. I've been the Flying Bird. Until next time, see you later.